Tonight on First at 9 this Saturday the 8th of June 2024. Pelting down. Extreme weather conditions lead to the closure of A1 in Lower Kadugannava. Severe flooding and landslides affect 132,521 individuals in 14 districts. Brick by brick. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri is set to deliver a statement on the role of BRICS and the Global South at the BRICS ministerial meeting in Russia. Building up reserves. Foreign remittances in May 2024 up by $600,000 compared to the previous month, reveals the central bank.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is Derana First at 9, live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Dirsingha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now in your top story tonight, extreme weather conditions led to the closure of the A1 in the Lower Kadugannava region today, disrupting traffic along the Colombo-Kandy road. Meanwhile, torrential rains prompted severe flooding and landslides across the island, severely affecting the lives of 132,521 individuals in 14 districts. The prevailing inclement weather patterns have displaced over 1,800 individuals who are currently being housed at 47 relief centers across the island.
The stretch of the Colombo-Kandy main road on the Lower Kadugannava region remained closed intermittently today to remove trees and rocks along the route, which could potentially disrupt traffic and harm people and property, considering the uptick in torrential rains and inclement weather. To mitigate the damage which could be caused as such, authorities took steps to close off the road for 3 hours from 6 p.m. this evening, while the road clearing efforts were conducted. The Department of Meteorology says that although the adverse weather conditions affecting the island have subsided within the last 2 days, a slight increase in rainfall is anticipated during the coming days starting from today. Accordingly, rains above 75 millimeters are expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern, southern provinces and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Although the floods triggered by the prevailing heavy downpours have subsided, people continue to remain affected due to the recent floods. As the inclement weather patterns continued in parts of the country, the Disaster Management Center stated that 132,521 individuals of 35,022 families continue to remain affected, with 24 deaths reported so far. The number of houses which were completely damaged due to the persisting adverse weather patterns increased to 68, while at least 4,877 houses remained partially damaged. The DMC added that 1,825 people belonging to 450 families are currently sheltered in 47 relief centers across 14 districts of the country. Taking the current adverse weather patterns into consideration, the National Building Research Organization issued landslide warnings to 6 districts.
Due to the cessation of the rainfall compared to the previous days, some areas with warnings have been removed. Considering prevailing rainfall and the weather forecast issued by the Department of Meteorology, the issued landslide early warning message has been extended until 4 p.m. tomorrow. With that, warning level 2 alert amber warning was issued to Palindunuwara, Ingiriya and Matagama Division Secretary Kaltara District, Kiriyalla, Elapatha, Kalawana, Ratnapura and Ahiliwada Division Secretary Ratnapura District. Warning level 1 which yellow warning was issued to Paduka Division Secretary Colombo District, Tawalama, Yakkalamulla, Nagoda, Neluwa, Niyagama and LPTA Division Secretary Galle District, Dodangoda, Maduravala, Bulasingala, Valalavita and Agalavatta Division Secretary Kaltara District, Dehiovita, Yatiantata, Ruanvella, Derana and Varakapura Division Secretary in Kegol District, Pitabattara Division Secretary in Matra District, Kuruvita, Ayagama, Balangoda, Imulpe, Opanayaka, Nivitigal and Palmadula Division Secretary in Ratnapura District.
Less sugar, same great taste. From Melbourne.
Foreign Minister Ali Sabri is scheduled to leave for Russia to attend the BRICS ministerial session, which will be held in Nizhny Novgorod in Russia on the 11th of June 2024. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri, who will be participating in the meeting, accepting the invitation extended by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, is scheduled to deliver a statement on the role of BRICS and the Global South. The meeting is expected to garner the participation of foreign ministers of countries across the global south.
The BRICS ministerial session will be hosted by Russia under the theme Strengthening Multilateralism for Fair Global Development and Security. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the foreign minister has been invited to the ministerial meeting as the current chair of the Indian Ocean Rim Association Council of Ministers. During the meeting of the foreign ministers from the countries of the Global South, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri is scheduled to deliver a statement on the role of BRICS and the Global South in reforming global governance, ensuring sustainable development and enhancing global security. On the sidelines, the foreign minister is expected to have bilateral meetings with his counterparts from a number of countries, including the host country. This meeting comes against a backdrop where Foreign Minister Sabri expressed Sri Lanka's keenness to join the BRICS alliance. Sabri also added that the cabinet has appointed a subcommittee to look into the matter and make recommendations to the government.
මැලිබන් කිරි නිෂ්පාදන මිලදීගෙන මරණයට කැපවූ කිරි ගවයන් නිදහස් කර ගැනීමට ඔබත් දායක වන්න.
A national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Namal Rajapaksa, pledged that his party will work towards putting a stop to corruption by employing modern technological means. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the SLPP, Sagar Karyavasam, says that the power vested in his party was forcibly taken away and went on to say that the SLPP will not rest until they get their power back.
A public rally of SLPP was held in the Rathota electorate of the Mathura district under the patronage of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa today.
We
were not given the power to sell this country, destroy its territorial integrity or decimate its future. However, the power vested in us was taken away forcibly. If they stole something from us, we will not rest until we get it back.
For several months, two factions have been debating. On one end, Anurukumara Disanayaka comes forward to debate on the country's economy. On the other end, it is Sajith Premadasa.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස තමයි අනිත් පැත්තෙන් එන්නේ. මෙන්න බඩු කෑලි දෙක ආර්ථිකය ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නෑ. අනුර කෙරුවේ හැමදාම ඩීල් එක.
Anura has always been making deals. Those who served in his party worked for money. How did beggars become so rich? Are they still begging? No. However, they call a leader who allocated large sums of funds to save the country a deal maker, a thief and a corrupt person. By doing so, they are disrespecting Mahinda Rajapaksa, a leader who saved this country.
එදා අපිට හොරා කිව්වා. අපෝ හිරේ දැම්මා.
They called us thieves and imprisoned us. All presidential candidates at the moment were members of the committee which sent us to prison. They say they are coming into power to root out corruption. Is a president needed to root out corruption? This is simply the job of the Inspector General of Police. On the political stage, they state that they will arrest the corrupt and retrieve all stolen funds. They are attempting to carry out their own political agendas for the next 30 years, claiming that they will put an end to corruption. The SLPP will take responsibility of rooting out corruption in this country using the modern technological revolution, just like we ended a 30-year war in 3 years.
අවම කිරීමේ වගකීමත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ බාර ගන්නවයි කියන එක අපි ඔබ තමුන්නාසෙට මතක් කරනවා.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anurukumara Disanayaka, asserts that despite the claims of the UNP General Secretary Palita Rangebandara, a referendum will not be held and that the presidential election will be definitely held. Anurukumara Disanayaka asserts that such statements are being made to confuse the society.
The Karuthara District Lawyers Conference of the National People's Power was held yesterday under the patronage of NPP leader Anurukumara Disanayaka.
At a recent press conference, Rangebandara claimed that the will of the people is to see Ranil Wickremesinghe's tenure being extended. Later, a journalist questioned how the incumbent president's tenure could be extended. Answering the question, Rangebandara made the assertion that the president's tenure could be extended by a referendum. This did not make the news. As far as I know, Ranil Wickremesinghe called Rangebandara subsequently. He then asked Rangebandara to make that point again and to do so properly, since it was not properly conveyed the last time. Rangebandara then called on another press conference and again revealed that they are ready to hold a referendum to extend the president's term by another 2 years. Given the current political context, you know that several political campaigns would emerge as the presidential election draws closer. However, in a referendum, Ranil's camp would say no to an election, while all the other camps would want an election. If Ranil can win a referendum where the camps are basically split into two, then he would be able to win the presidential election for sure. So a person who can't win the presidential election certainly cannot win the referendum. All political camps are now getting ready to face the national election, but the government does not seem to be bothered. They haven't even selected a candidate. The Podujana Peramuna has not decided who they will back. Many parties are confused. They now want to confuse the entire society by claiming to hold a referendum and not an election. There will not be a referendum. That is simply a lie. The presidential election will be held for sure. Drawing attention to recent incidents surrounding the highly anticipated debate between NPP leader Anrukumara Dissanayaka and the Samagi Jana Balawega's leader Sajith Premadasa, the SJB leader yet again expressed his willingness to hold two debates, one on the country's economy and the other between the two leaders.
The 224th edition of the Sakwala program was held at the Vidyaraja Mahavidyalaya in Kaduwela under the patronage of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa.
At the moment, politicians who have heated arguments in public form pacts and make deals behind closed doors. They claim to the people that they will root out corruption. By saying so, they still form deals with the president and media institutions attached to the government which protect the corrupt. They have fabricated letters to make it seem as if I wrote those letters. Today it has been proved that those letters are fake. This is fake news. I would like to clarify this matter again for the last time. We are ready to set two dates for two debates. However, those who intend to debate cannot come for one and skip the other. We have been saying this from the beginning. Let's publicly set up two dates, one for a debate between the two leaders and another date to debate economics. Welcome back. Now taking you back to some political news. Leader of the New Alliance, Anurapriya Darshanayapa, commented on the May 9 struggle and claimed that those in power should have addressed the concerns raised by the protesters as opposed to chasing them away. Addressing a gathering, the party leader further went on to say that it is the joint responsibility of everyone to usher in peace in Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, Executive Vice President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Mahinda Amaravira, announced that some prominent figures will join the New Alliance within the next few weeks.
The inaugural rally of the New Alliance, led by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, was held this afternoon in Ambalantota.
I publicly announced that the government's policy on fertilizer is wrong. What happened? They removed me within 2 days. However, during the next 4 months, the public chased away those who removed me.
Instead of providing solutions to the members of the public who were protesting on streets, they were attacked. That is why 9th of May cannot be forgotten, because a struggle turned into terrorism that day. The ones who were in power during that time are also responsible for this to a certain extent. Therefore, we have a duty to maintain peace in this country. If we make even a slight deviation from our direction, the country will collapse.
We developed the country's economy and we will continue to do so. We will nominate a candidate from our alliance and he will be the country's president. Thereafter, this alliance will form the country's next government.
This alliance does not intend to allow nepotism. This country requires a pure alliance. SLFP supporters now do not need to move away. We assure you that we will form our own government during this political journey led by the SLFP.
We did not plan to create this alliance recently. We worked on it for about 2 months. However, our former party leader disregarded this idea. The party, which had a total of 140 parliamentarians, reduced to just 2 members under his chairmanship. We assure you that several significant figures will join our alliance by next week. Manusat Derana continued to provide relief to the people affected by heavy rains for the 6th consecutive day today. Accordingly, dry rations were distributed by the Manusat Derana team to the affected in Agalavatta, Moravaka and in the Neluva area today. Meanwhile, Namal Balachandra Private Limited also contributed to the Manusat Derana Dialogue Relief Operation by providing a donation of finished garments. The program is carried out by Manusat Derana in partnership with Dialogue. And now let's take a look at some local news in brief.
Deputy Inspector General of the Child and Women Abuse Investigation and Prevention Division, Renuka Jayasundari, revealed that 572 girls have been raped so far this year.
පහුගිය මාස 4ට 572ක් අපේ දැරිය දූෂණය වෙනවා ලංකාවේ. 16ට අඩු කැමැත්ත දීලා තියෙනවා 395. 16ට අඩු බලහත්කාරයෙන් මේ අපරාධය සිද්ධ වෙනවා 162ක්. ඒකෙන් කියන්න ඕනේ 15ත් 18ත් අතර අපරාධකරු සැකකරු ඉන්නවා 73 දෙනෙක්. ගර්භණී භාවයට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා 72ක්. අපයෝජනීය ලිංගික ඝාතවර වගේ දේවල් වර්ෂයකට 3500ක් බරපතල ගණනේ අපරාධවලට දරුවෝ ලක් වෙනවා.
M.K. Chamindo, who was recently detained and imprisoned for the brutal assault of a 4-year-old girl in Balioya, has been transferred to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital on the advice of the court physician. Prisons Commissioner Gamini Bidisanayaka clarified that the suspect was not attacked by other convicts and anybody else within the premises of the prison. Police Special Task Force officers have arrested a person who was hiding army uniforms with the intention of using those uniforms to commit crimes. The suspect is an army deserter, and it has been revealed that he is currently an associate of Patty, a large-scale drug dealer and organized criminal.
Now in your business news, Sri Lanka's foreign remittances deposited by migrant workers have seen an improvement compared to the inflows recorded in April 2024. The central bank claims that the workers' remittances recorded in May 2024 depict an increase of $600,000 compared to that of April this year.
According to the Statistics Department of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, migrant workers' foreign remittances recorded in May 2024 stood at $544.4 million. The same figure stood at $543.8 million in April 2024, depicting a growth in foreign remittances recorded in May 2024. Workers' remittances amounted to $479.7 million in the month of May 2023. In 2023, meanwhile, workers' remittances amounted to $2.34 billion during the period spanning from January to May 2023. In comparison, foreign remittances recorded in 2024 from January to May stood at $2.62 billion. Therefore, according to the country's top monetary authority, the cumulative influx of foreign remittances from January to May this year depicts a year-on-year growth of 11.8%.
Transparency International Sri Lanka has filed legal action recently challenging the Public Financial Management Bill in the Supreme Court. The petition claims that Clause 32 of the bill severely impairs the oversight of the public procurement, increasing the likelihood of corruption and undermining fair competition. The bill was published in the Gazette on the 10th of May, and it was brought before Parliament for the first reading on the 22nd of May. Clause 32, subsection 3 of the bill grants the Finance Minister the discretion to exempt state-owned enterprises from compliance with national procurement guidelines, while Clause 32, subsection 4 permits provincial councils to adopt their own procurement guidelines. Transparency International Sri Lanka seeks a Supreme Court determination that these provisions related to procurement violate Article 3 of the Sovereignty of the People and Article 12 of the right of equal protection of the law enshrined in the Constitution. The Attorney General is named as a respondent in the public interest petition on Monday. The matter is scheduled to be heard. And now let's take a look at some corporate news in brief.
The chairman of Lanka IOC, Sujoy Chowdhury, says that the company expects to further elevate their customers' experience by creating new and advanced services at the retail outlets, followed by improvements in service quality and competitive pricing. In its annual report for the financial year 2023-2024, the chairman announced the commencement of supply of XP100 petrol for high-end cars in the near future. He pledged the continued support of the entity to invest for the long-term growth of the energy market while exploring new horizons of opportunity. In the meantime, Chief Executive Officer of the First Capital Holdings, Dilshan Veerasekara, said that the company is eager to explore new opportunities, especially in the corporate advisory space. He further revealed that the company has applied to obtain SEC's approval to set up a new entity dedicated to offer specialized corporate finance advisory services. Additionally, the company chairman Nishan Fernando revealed their expectation to remain vigilant, looking in particular for opportunities for market disruption that allow for first-mover advantage in new territories and market segments. In other corporate news, Cargill Serum plc announced the resignation of a non-executive director of the company. Accordingly, Derana resigned from the board of directors with effect from yesterday. In its disclosure, the company added that the resigned director does not hold any shares in the company as at date.
Following Sri Lanka's shocking loss against Bangladesh, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the Cabinet Subcommittee appointed to examine the state of Sri Lanka cricket, Ali Sabri, highlighted the dire need in reforming Sri Lanka cricket. In an X message, the Foreign Minister stated that Sri Lanka's performance is far from acceptable and claimed that it is time for a change. Minister of Foreign Affairs President's Council Ali Sabri, who highlighted that recent disappointments in the ICC World Cup of 2023 and in the ICC T20 World Cup so far are not isolated incidents, stated that they are stark indicators of the deep-rooted problems within our cricketing infrastructure. In an X message, he added that these issues cannot be resolved with temporary fixes. The Foreign Minister highlighted the need for a bold, professional approach that frees cricket from the control of those who have turned it into a personal enterprise. He noted that as chairman of the Cabinet Subcommittee appointed to examine the state of our cricket, he can attest to the pressing need for reform. Ali Sabri added that the report lays out a clear path forward and they are now on the brink of implementing these crucial changes through new legislation. While highlighting that this is a decisive moment for Sri Lanka cricket, Sabri stated that Sri Lanka must seize this opportunity and get the reforms enacted with a new sports law and constitution for Sri Lanka cricket. The Foreign Minister stated that Sri Lanka cricket is a reflection of our national spirit and added that its success should not be measured by financial metrics, but by the victories the country achieves on the field and the hope cricket inspires in our people. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you. Have a great night.